Hey, what's going on, everybody? I am Botch TV, and I'm here with another video. So you probably had seen my creations video on WWE 2K22, my wish list, when it came to the creations portion. And so I did a video a while back that talked about pretty much everything. It was a huge wish list about 2K22. And, I did things like universe mode, gameplay, creations, online, my career, stuff like that. And I listed all of those. So I thought I'd take that wish list, shrink it down, and make like 2 to 3 videos, a couple more videos, like breaking down the most important things. And this video right here is going to talk about universe mode. Universe mode is one of those modes that has probably been the same for about 4 to 5 years. There hasn't really been huge upgrades or huge features to the mode in forever. There's been tiny little additions that have been added, but nothing huge, I would say. At least in my humble opinion, I would say. And from a content creator standpoint, a lot of the content that I do is on my universe mode. I have 3 shows. I have RCW Daybreak, which is right here, and then I have RCW the regular show and RCW Relentless right here. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And you can catch me on glimish.tv/botchtv. That's where I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But let's get enough of that self-promo plug, and let's talk about Universe Mode. So, Universe Mode, one of my favorite modes to play. I love this mode, and it's pretty much bare bones for the most part. And there's so much that they could do with this mode. I always say it's the mode that has so much potential that doesn't have enough. And one of the things that I would like to see added is right here. And let me go to my universe, and let me go to shows. Let me just go to one show here. So, look at all this. We have all these titles here. We need more title slots. There's only 6. And I feel that if you have shows that intertwine with one another, like I do, I have 3 shows. RCW Relentless, RCW Daybreak, and RCW the regular show. And they all intertwine. They all have the same championships. There's no different championships or anything like that. They all intertwine. And if you want more titles, if you want more things to do with your show, you should have more title slots. Or more championship slots. I don't know how many, maybe 2 more. Just add more in there. Also, there's an option to add briefcases. Briefcases should be their own separate slots. It shouldn't take up a title slot. Because what if you want to have 2 briefcases on a show, but you have many different championships? To me, you should be able to have as many championships as you could possibly want. Maybe not too overboard, but at least more than that. That's already here, and have those briefcases at the same time without having to worry about giving up a championship or vacating a slot just so that you can have your briefcases there. Obviously, we got more matches, the number of matches. I believe you can have, 15 to 17 in 2K20. So, obviously, increasing the number of matches would be great per show. Pay-per-views on Saturdays and Sundays, obviously, with 2K20. That should be a thing that stays. And also, in addition to the title slots, you should be able to have the same championship on more than 2 shows. You can have championships only on 2 shows at one time. So with RCW Daybreak and RCW, they all have the same championships. So I had to make RCW Relentless a minor show and have the host shows be RCW Daybreak and RCW the regular show, just for them, just for the titles and everything. So I couldn't actually make my own titles for Relentless because of the restriction of only allowing to have two shows have the same championships. So that's another thing that should be put there. Another option that I would like to see added in universe mode is events. And what I mean by that is you have this calendar right here. And you have the ability to add a show. Well, what if you had separate events? What if you had like meet and greets, autograph signings, different things that happen within the wrestling world that could maybe give your superstars a boost. Maybe they give them attribute boosts, or they gain more fans if they're faces, or they might lose fans if they, maybe have a bad interaction with a fan or something. Something to make it more realistic to what goes on. Because a lot of times in wrestling, they'll use things outside of the show sometimes to add on to a storyline. So that could be things that you could, by doing this like events feature, like autograph signings or appearances or things like that. It doesn't even need to have like its own cutscene. It could just be a thing that you schedule, and a schedule screen could pop up, and you could just have, let's say Sky Outlaw is supposed to do a autograph signing at this place, and then it loads, right? The event loads. Maybe it shows a little bit of a cutscene. Maybe it shows your superstar going up to the podium or going up to a little table, and you start signing autographs, and then it cuts away, and then it says you've earned this attribute boost, or if you've earned this many fans for this superstar, if you've earned something or whatever, something like that, to make it a little bit more realistic to what we see in the wrestling world. Because obviously there's meet and greets, there's things like that. I actually met Kevin Owens as part of a virtual meet and greet, which was pretty cool. It was awesome. I enjoyed doing that. So, having things like that would be awesome. Having like interviews, like interview segments that are separate from the show itself, that would kind of go under the appearances type thing. Just something to make it more realistic to what we see in the wrestling world. Not just on TV, but as the fan ourselves. We go to Fan Fest. We go to maybe WrestleMania weekend or something like that, where it's TakeOver, WrestleMania, and then it's Raw the next day. Have something like that where it's like Comic-Con or some convention or whatever. Even if it's just a bare bones thing, I'll take that over nothing. That'll be something that they can build on and add on to as the years go on. But that's one of like the new features that I would like to see if it was added in. Obviously, add GM mode features in this. For those who want it, add GM mode features like contracts, separate rosters. Obviously, you can do that already. The draft. Make your own draft. Maybe you have an RCW draft or your own draft for your own shows. Be able to do that. That would be cool. Another thing, double title entrances. Or double champions. You can have double champions, but you can't have double title entrances. Why? There's no reason for it. If you can have double title entrances, there's no reason, or double title champions or double champions, there's no reason why you can't have double title entrances. That makes no sense. It doesn't. Also, one of the other things that I would like to see is obviously more match types. And that's more of a gameplay aspect. But having more match types in universe mode would definitely help create more storylines. And that could be, part of a creation option. That could have been something that I put in the creation video. But, since it's universe mode, I put it in here. Now, here's another thing. Rivalries. Let's get to this. So, Rivalries is something that they introduced, I think it was in 2K18? I think? I'm not too sure. You can correct me on that in the comments if I got that wrong there. But these rivalries mean absolutely nothing. That's the problem. They're completely randomized cutscenes that you have really no control over. You have no control over what happens. You have no... Like, if you play your universe mode like I do, I play the matches. But I have no control of what happens in that set cutscene. I have no control of what happens. So I don't know if, Eliza or Mercy is going to come out or do whatever. So I have no idea what happens. And I mean, that could be cool from a surprise standpoint. But at the same time, I kind of want more control of what happens. It's my universe mode. The whole purpose of universe mode is to create your own wrestling universe, make your own wrestling show. So to me, you should be able to do that however you want to do it. And rivalries is a huge part of wrestling, obviously. You got your face and you got your heel. So being able to choose cutscenes, maybe you have a cutscene suite where it says, okay, you're going to have this person attack this person. And then you can create it into like a video using the create a video suite. And maybe you can preview it. And then with your capture card or whatever, you can record it and then have it be as part of a segment or as part of the rivalry, or have it play out and say, okay, maybe in the card. So for instance, like this, maybe in the card, if it says rivalry match, you can say, it can have an option up here that says choose cutscene, and you could choose it before you start the show, before you start the match, and you could have a cutscene play out. That could be something that would just give us more control over the rivalries and more control over our shows overall, and more control over our universe. Another thing when it comes to rivalries is having multi-person rivalries. You have 2v2 and 1v1. Let's have a faction rivalry. So a faction of maybe 5 people. Let's have fatal 4-way rivalries, triple threat rivalries, things like that. Also, another thing with rivalries is instead of, when you go to select a rivalry, here, it says 1-on-1 or 2-on-2, and it says rivalry duration. Long rivalry, medium rivalry, short rivalry, and intensity. Rivalry duration. Okay. So, the problem with this here is I have no clue when this is going to end. There's no date. There's no, ends until WrestleMania, ends until the pay-per-view, ends until this, ends until this. There's no way to figure out when a rivalry ends, so what I usually do is I go to it and I click delete. When it's over, I click delete. And that's a problem. We should be able to have rivalries and be able to choose precisely when we want a rivalry to end. So you could say, instead of saying long rivalry, you could say end in 2 weeks, end in a month, end in 2 months, end at X pay-per-view, or end at this pay-per-view, or whatever. That way, like I said, give you more control. It's all about giving you more control and about you deciding what you want to do in your universe mode. Also, another option, make injuries matter in this game. Make superstar injuries matter. There is some superstar attributes like status effects and things like that, but injuries don't really matter in the game. Yes, they might cause a little bit of limb damage and cause your person to tap out sooner, depending on what part of the body is injured, but they're still wrestling. Sometimes they might be injured to the point where they can't compete or they can't wrestle, but still, I feel as injuries don't matter in the universe mode. And that's a problem, because, you have so many big returns that happen on TV when wrestlers come back and from injury to attack a rival that injured them, or to come back in the biggest way at a pay-per-view and win a title. Or, it's kind of like Seth Rollins. I don't know if he came back from an injury, but it was Seth Rollins that cashed in on Roman Reigns on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. I believe, I don't know if that was when he wrecked his knee or what, but that was awesome. Like, being able to create moments like that would be really, really cool. So definitely make injuries matter. Make it matter so that, you could add more storylines or incorporate more storyline into it and make a universe more immersive. Anything that you can do to make your wrestling show to be like an actual wrestling show, but just through a video game, that's the whole purpose of the universe. That's the whole purpose. Another thing that I would like to see added is more run-in cutscenes. More run-in cutscenes. And they definitely need to fix the run-in system. Like, altogether. They need to fix the run-in system. Because sometimes when you select the person, like, okay, if I want to run in on this, sometimes when you select the person, like mid-match run-in, it does the opposite person. Or it does the person that it's not supposed to. It needs to be better, because, anybody can mess up. We're all human. Anybody can mess up, but it needs to be better than just this. You can select a option of what weapon you want to come out with or whatever. But there needs to be more options. Like, where are you going to come from? Are you going to come from the crowd? Do you want to be a head-on run-in where you just run in from the ramp? Do you want to, I don't know, do a backstage thing and run in, take somebody out, bring them backstage and beat them to a pulp so that they can't compete in a match, and then that person that beat that person up will take the spot or whatever, and think of so many storylines that could spark from creating these run-ins, instead of having the same run-ins where they either run in head-on, there's a false attack, or a attack via an entrance where a person turns around, referee doesn't see it, and a person has their finisher ready to charge up, and then a person hits the finisher and rolls out to the ring, or rolls out of the ring and leaves. It's like, great. Cool. And obviously, here's another thing with managers. When managers come out with another person, they should be able to do more than just distract the referee and more than just pull out the referee. Like, even sometimes managers won't do what they're supposed to do, even if they are heel. Like, you would expect a person to pull the referee out, expect a person to distract. At some point, the ejection of a manager needs to happen. I feel like that doesn't happen enough. I mean, the more that you interject yourself in a match as a manager, the more likely you are to be ejected from ringside. But you pulling out the referee, I believe that and distracting the referee, like, decreases your exit gauge more than distracting the target or the person that you're targeted to distract. But there just needs to be more interactions between the referee and a manager. Because the referee plays a significant role. The referee plays a very significant role in the way matches are planned out. Maybe there's a cut scene where, you know, if they add special guest referee, maybe there's a cut scene where the referee gets knocked down. Referee's knocked down. A superstar comes in, throws a referee's shirt on, and I mean, that's what Bayley did. Bayley did it. You know, that could be something that would be cool for Universe Mode. Just something to where the referee does a lot more than just do counts. Or, you know, check to see if a person wants to give up from a submission. Something like that. Well, pretty much that's gonna be it for me on this side of things. Let me know what you guys want to see in Universe Mode. Do you use Universe Mode? Do you create your own show? What do you want to see in Universe Mode or in 2K22 overall? Let me know in the comments below. And I'll be back with another gameplay video. I'll be focusing on gameplay in the next one, and we'll talk about some of the gameplay, such as like table physics and things like that. But having these features in Universe Mode could definitely go a long way in at least helping people like myself and other people that want to make their own Universe Modes but haven't really tried it, have more fun with the game and have a better gaming experience as a wrestling fan or as the casual wrestling video game player. So let me know what you guys want to see from 2K22, and I will catch you guys on the next one.